Naoya, the monster Inoue, is set to defend his undisputed super bantamweight championship this May in Tokyo, Japan, taking on the WBC mandatory challenger Luis Pantera Nery as the fight draws near. Many boxing pros have weighed in with their predictions. Some fans are already calling for a dream matchup between Inoue and Gervonta Tank Davis, but others argue that such a fight just doesn't make sense. Legendary promoter Bob Arum explained why. Inoue started his career at 118 pounds and worked his way up to 122. He's a massive star in Japan. But let's be honest, almost nobody there knows who Tank Davis is. Why would Naoya, who's already undersized at 122, fight a guy who's basically a 140-pounder? It makes no sense. Arum continued. Tank sells in the US. Sure, but it wouldn't be smart for Inoue to rush into fights against men so much bigger than him. When I saw him face Stephen Fulton, I thought it would be tough, but he handled Fulton with ease. Let's see what he does next at 126. The Japanese aren't stupid, they'll move him up the right way. Still, Arum praised Inoue's greatness, even suggesting he might surpass Manny Pacquiao someday. Inoue is something special, maybe the best we've seen since Manny Pacquiao, maybe even better. He could move up to junior lightweight or lightweight, he's that good. And Arum isn't alone. Mike Tyson has also compared Inoue to Pacquiao, but says the monster might be even more dangerous. That's a mean little dude, Tyson said. He doesn't look like much, but he's better than Pacquiao. Man, vicious. He breaks guys down. The monster, he's bad news. Even Nonito Donaire, who's shared the ring with Inoue twice, admits that Naoya was the toughest opponent of his entire career. The respect is unanimous from legends, champions, and fans alike. As Inoue prepares to face Luis Nery, the world will once again watch to see if the monster can continue his reign of dominance, and perhaps carve his name alongside the greatest fighters of all time.
When it comes down to a lot of things, I think the best guy that I face, and maybe perhaps if I was younger, it might be a different story, but at the moment of who I am in this time, I would say Inoue is the toughest that I've faced, or the strongest that I've faced.
You mentioned Inoue as probably potentially the best fighter that you faced in your career. What is it about him that gives you that distinction?
I think it's like facing the younger me. There's just a lot of similarities in terms of power, explosiveness, and sometimes intelligence. But I think a lot of it is given the similarities is what makes it more difficult.
Jason Maloney knows firsthand what it's like to step into the ring with Naoya Inoue, and he's never forgotten the experience. I didn't even see the punches that hurt me, Maloney admitted. Both times he put me down, they were just so fast. Even when you try to move and create distance, his closing speed is unreal. That first step, the way he explodes into range, it's incredible. Once he switches into that killer mindset and starts letting his hands go with bad intentions, he's almost impossible to stop. Maloney entered the fight believing he could win, but came out humbled. He's probably even better than I expected, he added. You don't truly understand how good he is until you're in there with him. When asked about a potential super fight with Gervonta Tank Davis, Inoue shut down the speculation. I don't think that fight is possible, Inoue said. It's mostly hype from fans. I respect Tank. I think he's ranked too low on the pound-for-pound list. He should be higher. Former world champion Sean Porter also couldn't stop praising the monster after his most recent performance, calling Inoue one of the most complete and dangerous fighters in the sport today.
Would you say the monster is multi-dimensional?
Yeah, of course.
But have you seen him legitimately be multi-dimensional?
Yeah.
From a standpoint of being able, obviously we know he can punch.
Yeah.
We've seen him get to the body, but
He's a box before.
I really haven't seen him stay on the outside and counter punch.
Do you think that's what he's gonna have to do against Fulton now?
It's not the point. The point is you just call him the #1 fighter on the planet.
Pound for pound.
But you got to be able to do it all.
Yeah.
Who do they fight? I mean, you can say that for Crawford. Who they fight?
Naoya Inoue has officially confirmed that he plans to fight Luis Nery in May of this year. According to Michael Benson, Inoue is now in negotiations to defend his undisputed WBA, WBC, IBF, and WBO super bantamweight world titles, with the bout expected to take place in Japan. The fight comes with a lot of controversy, though. Luis Nery was previously banned from competing in Japan by the Japanese Boxing Commission after testing positive for Zilpatero following his 2017 TKO victory over long-reigning champion Shinsuke. To make matters worse, Nery came in massively overweight for their 2018 rematch, which he still won by a devastating second round, TCO. Now, years later, Nery is looking to make his return to Japan against the most dangerous opponent possible, the monster. Naoya Inoue, even Floyd Mayweather himself, has praised Inoue, calling him something truly special in the modern boxing world.
The kid from Japan, Inoue. So when you see, he got the victory over Cool Boy Steve. cool boy, Inoue. It was a Filipino fighter. He had fought twice. Donaire. So Donaire was giving him fits in the first fight. And if I'm not mistaken, Donaire was somewhere close to 40 or 40 years old when he fought him the first time. Whereas he was in his 20s. So he should have knocked him out in the first fight. Fighting the guy, like I said before, at that age. What I need Inoue to do is I need him to come fight in the US, random blood, urine testing. I think he's a hell of a fighter. A hell of a fighter. I won't take nothing away from him. Hell of a fighter. And I like him because I see he take a lot of my stuff from my playbook.
Many experts now believe that Naoya Inoue is one of the best fighters on the planet. Mike Coppinger of ESPN recently tweeted that Naoya Inoue and Luis Nery have officially agreed to a deal for a fight in May, set to take place in Tokyo, Japan, for Inoue's undisputed junior featherweight championship. Although Nery was banned for life from fighting in Japan after a doping violation and missing weight, reports suggest the issue is not expected to affect the bout. Legendary trainer Teddy Atlas also praised Inoue, saying he would have been great in any era of boxing. Atlas stated, "I've always favored the 1930s through the 1980s as boxing's best decades. But Inoue would have fit in with the greatest of any era. He's the full package: speed, power, intelligence, timing, and controlled ferocity. Simply special." Meanwhile, Luis Nery has been calling out Inoue for quite some time, and he's not lacking confidence. Nery has said, "He's not the monster, he's a little monster. I'm the real monster at 122. Back when Inoue was preparing to fight Stephen Fulton, Nery boldly predicted that he would knock Inoue out, claiming their styles would guarantee a brutal finish. He added, "He stands in front of you and he's brave, but I do the same. So it'll end in a knockout." For months, the boxing world has been buzzing about this matchup, and now it's finally becoming reality.
Lots of people already know about the rumor of the fight upcoming bout in May, but I can't say much about this yet because we're under negotiation, but I want to make everybody happy so that I can show you the great fight next year as well.
The long-awaited showdown between Naoya Inoue and Luis Nery now seems closer than ever. Both camps have acknowledged the possibility of the two finally meeting in the ring, and all signs point to May in Tokyo as the target date. Inoue himself confirmed that this will likely be his next fight, saying, "If I perform well, we'll definitely meet in May. I feel confident about this matchup. Nery is one of the best, if not the best, at 122 pounds. Confidence, however, runs high on both sides. Sources close to the negotiations suggest that Inoue is prepared to wait for Nery, while Nery believes he can shock the world and hand Inoue his first-ever defeat. According to Michael Benson, the bout is reportedly agreed but not yet officially confirmed. Benson stated, "Naoya Inoue versus Luis Nery for Inoue's undisputed WBA, WBC, IBF, and WBO Super Bantamweight world titles is reportedly set for May in Tokyo. If finalized, this fight will be one of the most anticipated events of the year, a true battle between power, precision, and pride." And if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to subscribe and check out some of our other videos on the screen right now, because the monster is far from finished.